Hi everyone, please watch this whole video. This is going to tell you all about our unique grading system, which is called grade goals. Again, please watch this whole thing because it's really going to help make sense of how I am going to be grading all of your work this semester. Like I said, this system is called grade goals, which means basically that I'm not going to be using points in this class. So on your individual assignments, you're not going to see a letter grade, you're not going to see a percentage or any points. You're going to see a check mark in Canvas for complete or an X in Canvas, which means not yet passing or you haven't completed the assignment. So that's what it's going to look like on your end, but let me kind of go through the ins and outs of everything so that we're all on the same page. So I'm in our grading page in our Getting Started module. And if you scroll down, you'll notice this video will be here as soon as it's done. And then there's going to be 4 tabs. And so I'm going to take us through these 4 tabs. And by the end, we should have a clear understanding of what this system looks like. But of course, let me know if you have any questions. And notice I put a bunch of asterisks in front of this page so you can find it again easily in our course. That way, if you ever need to come back and watch this video or look at any of the tabs, you can do so. Please note that all of this information is also in our course syllabus too. So here we go, Intro to Grade Goals. This course has no points. Instead of following a traditional point system, you will have the opportunity to submit your best work. And if you need to revise the assignment, you may do so by submitting your assignment up to 3 days after I return it to you. Once your assignment is passing, you will receive a check mark in Canvas. If your assignment is not passing, you will see an X in the grade column for that assignment. There are no limits on the number of assignments you can revise, nor the number of times you can revise any given assignment. So you will look at the list of assignments for the course and complete the number of assignments listed for the grade goal to earn your desired grade. So basically what this means is if your assignment is considered not passing, I will give you feedback and let you know what you need to fix. And then as soon as you see my comment, it'll be timestamped. Say I give your paper back on June 19th, then you have until June 22nd to resubmit it. And you can do that as many times as it takes for your assignment to be passing. This will be especially important for your essay assignments. And because we're in a summer session, you only have 3 days to revise, but that should be plenty of time. And then for late work, depending on your grade goal, you are allocated a certain number of late assignments. And late work also has a 3-day grace period. So if you're going for an A, I believe you get 2 late assignments. Those must be submitted within 3 days of the original deadline. The only things that cannot be submitted late, the net tutor drafts cannot be submitted after the final draft because the net tutor draft is meant to, it's kind of your rough draft assignment. So I can't take it after you've submitted the final draft because then otherwise the comments are moot. And then the final essay, essay 4, can't be submitted late because I have to submit grades like right after the class ends. So that's kind of where we're headed. So why am I doing this? I understand that we're all juggling a lot, and so this system lets you kind of choose the amount of work that you're capable of doing. It's feasible for your schedule. Also, revision is really crucial to improving writing, so I think it's really valuable for students to be able to revise their work. So a couple of notes. So every assignment that is not submitted, like completely ignored, or is not passing by the end of the term, your course grade will lower by 1 letter, okay? If you think about traditional point systems, I think mathematically that would work out to be about the same. You know, if an essay is worth 15% of your grade and you miss it, that's a letter grade, right? So the essay assignments, right, you will be docked a letter grade if you completely ignore one, you never turn it in, or you revise it multiple times and it still doesn't pass by the end of the semester. So it's not an automatic fail of the course, it's just a one grade lower. You're expected to turn in your best work, and the class is going to be rigorous regardless of the grade goal that you're shooting for. So that is the background of the system. So I know you guys are anxious to kind of see how this works. So grade goals breakdown. So to earn a C, you must complete all of the following with a pass. 4 essays in your syllabus quiz, net tutor drafts, the first 1 out of 4, the first self-assessment out of 4, 6 out of the 9 discussions, 2 out of the 5-page contributions, 8 out of the 10 quizzes, and you're allowed 4 late assignments. Okay, and notice how this kind of increases for the B, right? Really, for the NetTutor drafts, it's 2 instead of 1. Self-assessments, 2 instead of 1. Discussion goes up to 7 instead of 6. Pages goes up to 3 instead of 2. Quizzes goes up to 9 instead of 8. And we're adding on the educational plan assignment, and you decrease 1 late assignment. Then for the A, you notice how this increases still. 3 out of 4 net tutors and self-assessments, 8 out of 9 discussions, 4 out of 5 pages, 10 out of 10 quizzes, and now we're adding the multimedia reflection and decreasing 1 late assignment again. So you notice the amount of work increases and the late assignments decrease the higher of a letter grade that you hope to get in the class. So this chart here, I think, is an easy way to kind of see how this all breaks down. So if you're going for the A grade goal, you will do everything in the left-hand column, right? You just read straight down. 1 syllabus quiz, 4 essays, 3 net tutors, 3 self-assessments, 8 discussions, etc. For the B, you're going to read in the middle column. You complete all of the middle column assignments. And for a C, you do the right-hand side. And so you can kind of see here, it goes all the way down. In the very right-hand column, I tell you what is considered passing for each type of assignment. And if you hover, it'll highlight that row in blue so you can kind of keep track it with your eye. So I'll let you guys kind of look at those in more detail. So that's how it breaks down. And then the next tab, I basically just define what each assignment is in more detail. And then you can see here, I tell you what is required for each type of assignment, how many are required for each grade goal still. So everything should kind of align there, and I'll let you again read this page. What I really want to show you here is how you can track this in our course. So I've decided to give you guys 2 different ways, 2 different options to track, because I know our brains work differently. And so for some students, option A will make sense, but for some students, option B will make sense. So I'll tell you a little bit about both. Again, both of these tracking sheets are on your syllabus. I've given you also a link to both of these in this Google Doc. So if you click on it, you can make a copy. And then now you have an individual tracking sheet in Google Drive, and you can kind of just add your check marks and X's in here, and you can save it for whatever name you want, but you can add your check marks here or your X's here to kind of keep track, and you can use A or B. They're both in the same document. So that's the Google Doc version. I've also given you the same thing in a Word document if you prefer to have it as an electronic file. Okay, so let me explain what option A means. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you'll notice there's letters here, okay, and they're placed very strategically in this chart. So, okay, so for the syllabus quiz, everybody has to do 1, right? So it's in the first box. Whether you're going for an A, B, or C, everybody has to do the syllabus quiz. For essays, everybody needs to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what you're going to do is when you get to your desired course grade in each row, you essentially can stop doing that type of assignment. So if you're going for a C, you can stop after you do the first net tutor draft, the first self-assessment, excuse me. You can stop after you do your 6th discussion, right? If you're going for a B, you want to get enough check marks in each row to get to the B letter grade. So you want to do 2 net tutor drafts, 2 self-assessments, 7 discussions, 3 pages, etc. And then if you're going for an A, of course, you want to get all the way to the A with your check marks in every single row. So that is the first option for tracking your progress. If that makes sense to you, go ahead and use this one. The other system that I've created for tracking is this one, option B. So for a C, you want to do everything in this first big box here, and you want to get a check mark on every single one of those. So you notice there's 4 essays, net tutor self-assessment, there's 6 discussions, 2 pages, syllabus quiz, 8 quizzes, and 4 late assignments allowed. You want to put a check mark over every single one of those assignments to get your C. Then to get a B, this is what you need to add. You would add these 6 things here to get a B. And then to get an A, you add on to that another 6 assignments down here. So essentially, if you're going for an A, you want to get a check mark on every single thing you see here. If you're going for a B, you want to get everything here and up top. And for a C, you just want to get what's up top. So again, it's 2 different ways to track the same exact thing. Again, you can kind of use whichever one makes more sense to you. I will also be tracking this in Canvas. And so you guys will see checks and X's in Canvas. And let me show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so I am in my test student grade center here. And so you can see here what this is going to look like. Checks and X's, right? Except for your quizzes, which you'll need to get at least 80% on, okay? For it to be considered passing. So X's and checks, I did excuse just because it's a test student, but you guys are just going to see those checks and X's for everything, okay? You're not going to see a letter grade or points for any individual assignment. What I recommend in Canvas, you notice how I have this arranged by assignment group. I would definitely recommend that because as you can see, all of the discussions are in one place. So you can see how many of discussions you've done. Then you can see how many pages you've done, how many quizzes you've done, net tutor drafts, etc. Otherwise, if you have it arranged by due date, I'll show you what that looks like. All of those assignment types are going to be mixed. And so it's going to be a lot harder to track for our system. So you notice a quiz, then you've got discussions, then a page, then quizzes. It's hard to keep track of how many of each thing you've done, which is really what we're doing for our grading system. So again, I would just arrange it by assignment group, and it will be super easy to keep track of. And if this Canvas system is enough for you to be able to see what, your progress in the class, don't feel like you have to track your progress with one of the sheets I've given you. I just want you to be able to understand where you stand in the class. So whatever is really easiest for you. And so that is essentially our grading system. And as I mentioned before, I am in our grading page in our Getting Started module. So if you notice in our modules, the grading page is towards the bottom of it with a bunch of asterisks. So please continuously return to this page throughout the semester. I've tried, I think I've gotten them all, but you'll notice too on every single assignment that I've given you, I've reminded you at the bottom how many you need to complete for each grade goal too. So you're going to be seeing this language throughout the semester in a bunch of different places. So just be sure you are keeping track. And because something that I forgot to mention before, for our system, you have to complete everything listed for that grade goal in order to get that grade goal. If you miss even one thing, no matter how small you think it is, you're going to drop to the next letter. So you want to be sure that you complete every single thing on the list. And this is listed here at the bottom. Please note, super important. All items on the list for a grade goal must be completed for that grade. Failure to complete any of the required grade goal items will mean an automatic deduction to the lower grade. Okay, so don't miss anything. One way that you can mitigate that, however, is with extra credit. So under assignment types, I have explained that you can erase a late assignment, or you can earn credit for a missed discussion, page contribution, or quiz by doing an extra credit assignment, which would be watching a film and writing a reflection, or going to a cultural or diversity event either on campus or in your community and writing up a reflection on that. So those are your options for extra credit that can do one of these couple of things here. So that is also something to help you so that you don't drop to that lower grade. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope that you're excited for this course.